That's more better. Here's my crummy throwaway paintbrush. I'm still going to use that. But even if you weren't going to use it anymore, don't ever throw them away if you think you can still use them for something, you know? Just for a broom. Good grief, Charlie Brown. I dug this out. And this is the floor. And see, there's TJIs underneath here that go. And what I'm going to do, because this is that band that goes along here. Remember I told you it was plywood? Sure enough, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 layers. It's a TJI band that comes all the way across here, and I'm screwed into that. And fortunately for me, the only part that was bad on that was this end. And I've got it all screwed down. Nice. I dug out all the loose stuff over here, and I'm not going to dig it out any further. This is still kind of, the flooring is intact, so to speak, going around the corner, and I'm going to fill that up. In fact, I'm going to take liquid nail first and put it back in there, but only after I spray it with bleach. I chopped this out. See, I knew I didn't have backing all the way. This is a 2x6 on edge going this way, so I notched that out, cleaned out in there, and I'm going to have to measure that and have a little piece that's notched down deeper, across, down, across, down, across. In fact, I might be able to go all the way across there and bridge that gap. I don't know. Or I can put a block of wood in there or something, you know, kind of shove it down there at an angle. Something far enough to where I can fill the rest in with my rock hard wood putty. So I'm going to cut my 3/4 inch. I've got plenty of that extra. I'm just going to cut a strip in here, and then I'm going to put liquid nail down in there on the sides, and just spooge that thing down in there. I'm not even going to screw it, I don't think. I could screw one pre-drill or something, and then I can patch the rest of that stuff. Now let's take a look at this other side. Now this side wasn't as bad. I flaked off some of the top bit with my putty knife, just a flat putty knife. It was a dull putty knife, and I was able to scrape off a little bit because I could tell it was a little weak. I dug out a little bit right in here, and I just used my little screwdriver. That's all I used. My little screwdriver. That thing comes in handy. I use that for all kinds of stuff. I try to keep the tip nice and square and pointy still. And I'll still have to wedge something down in that hole. I cleaned up the stucco there, and this is just going to go straight across flat, and then I can pack some of that water putty down in there. I could just make all that flat, you know. After I do that, then I can float over this. But before I do that, I'm just going to take my bleach. I'm going to spray it on there. Be careful not to get it all over myself. Come on. This I already painted with that mold killer primer. Okay, that's all I'm going to do with that one. And let's see what to do with this. Yeah, I used all of this stuff, you know, to dig that out. And I actually used my wood rasp, and I used that to file and straighten this edge. I never know what I'm going to use, so I always try to carry all my stuff with me. And I have a special place for each and every little tool I have in my nail bag, so when I look, if I see, hey, where is it, I'll know to try to find it wherever it is. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna even spray it back in there. Anything I can reach, you know? I'm even gonna get this area. Get a stream going. Okay. And while this is all drying, I'll be working on something else, and I'll come back to this. Okay. There. Okay. Saturate the mother. Okay. Okay, that's good. And on my container, make sure you write the word bleach on there, because you don't want anybody using that for anything else. Okay. All right, I think I'm done with the bleach. Thank you, Mr. Bleach. And I'll just let that dry now and work on something else. Well, I thought this bleach would be dry by now, but it's still damp a little bit, and I don't want to jeopardize putting my liquid nails in there or my water putty, and so I'm going to let that dry some more. But in the meanwhile, you know, I went ahead and cut my block, and that's going to fit right in there. And look at this little piece. That's going to fit right down in there. And I'll be able to tap it down there with a hammer, and I'll put some glue on it and stuff. And the piece over here, I wedged a board down there. I even had to rip it. I had to rip it out of a 2x6, 1 1/8 by 5/8. Figure that one out. Try to rip that with a little skill saw. I first had a piece like that. I thought, dabbity nabbit, I have to, not only do I have to make it 1 1/8 this way, I have to make it, I have to cut 5/8, have a 5/8 strip, you know, something like that. And there's the block down in there, and I tapped it all down in there, took my liquid nails in there, and I cut a little piece right in there, pushed that in. I cut a long strip in there, and I put 3 screws in it at an angle